Let's be different. Let's be real. Episode 138.
Yes.
Not doing.
What's good, everybody? What is good? What is good?
Yep. So, want to be different in different situations. NBA, we did some rankings. We did some predictions. We want to be different about how we approach the playoffs now, too.
Bold.
Oh, we were at the gate, too.
Oh, man, he froze.
Oh, really?
We're supposed to come back home. But everybody, welcome in, bro. We still here. As a matter of fact, we gotta move forward. Second, let's do the All NBA team predictions. Sheedy.
Yeah, no problem. So we've got the MVPs out there. We got the Defensive Player of the Year, Coach of the Year, and Six-Man of the Year. And I think for one in some time, I feel like they've kind of got this right all the way across the board so far. But right now, we just want to jump in before the NBA actually reveals. There's been a lot of rumors out there about their all NBA teams. Just want to go about and say who do we have on our first and second NBA all NBA teams. And what we'll do is we'll start with Sharky to give his take on who he thinks should be first team all NBA. And I may agree or disagree with that. And then we'll hear from Trevor, and then hopefully two can get back on so we can hear from him as well. So we'll start with Cap. Cap, who you got? If you had to assemble the all NBA first team, how would you tell the NBA these are the players that need to be in the all NBA first team? Give me your five.
Do I necessarily have to go to order guard, forward, center? Or can I do three guards?
We got to keep it traditional. Until they're ready to open up that can of worms that it should. Let's just keep it traditional with the 2 guard, 2 forward, and a center.
Well, apparently they didn't do that or in these predictions because Luka ain't a forward. He's a point guard. So I'm going to follow exactly the guidelines I saw here. Actually, the ones I kind of seen, Steph, Dame, Luka, Giannis, and Jokic. Have no problems with that. I would like to change and do 2 centers and put Embiid and Jokic on there and probably take out Giannis. But based on that kind of format and they switched Luka to 4 in these predictions, that's about right. I think that'll probably be my first team, just the best players who played this season at those spots.
Say that list again.
Steph, Dame, Luka, 3 guards, because they put Luka as a forward on this prediction, on this quote unquote weak point.
Yeah.
Giannis at the 4 and Jokic at the 5. And like I said, maybe I'll change and put 2 centers with Embiid replacing with Giannis, but that won't happen. So
I like the list. No rebuttals for me on that one. Of course, we can all make a case for Chris Paul, but I think when you look at the first NBA team is hopefully becoming the best 5 players of that season. Since sometimes the MVP don't really recognize it, so hopefully they use this for that. But no, I like the list.
Got you. I'll save my rebuttals so we can go at the end.
Break it now.
Right,
Who you going to review?
So listen, I want your guys' take on your all NBA first team. And so to me, all NBA first team, I don't understand how, if this man is the point guard, then why he's not in the all NBA first team. Chris Paul is he's a lock at the guard. I also, Joker definitely should be a staple at the center. He's the MVP. So I guess you kind of feel it in between there. And I'm kind of torn from what we've seen. But to be honest, at the other guard position, all NBA, I'm giving it to Dame for what he's done with this season. Because we're talking about this season, not like overall seasons. And then at the forwards, I had Kawhi and Giannis. Giannis, yes, did not have his MVP-ish type season, but if you look at the numbers, realistically, he was only maybe a point and a half off and maybe a rebound or 2 off as well, but still produced at a high level for the Bucks and what they needed. And so that's my take on my 5 for first team. Now let's switch gears and talk about second team. Trevor, I'm opening up the floor for you to say, if you are Commissioner Trevor, who are you noting as your All-NBA second team?
Well, since you just gave basically exactly who I would have had as first team All NBA, this is where Steph will get his reward. So at the guard position, I will put Steph on the second team. You got to throw Joel Embiid in there somewhere. You could definitely make a case for first team for Joel Embiid, but those other 5 guys you can say had a bigger impact and had a better season. So you'll stick Joel Embiid there at the center spot. As far as one of the forward spots, and I saw it on here, and I'm shocked that he wasn't on this, is Julius Randle. I think Julius Randle despite what may have transpired in the playoffs, Julius Randle had a really, really big season for the Knicks. Key reason that they made the playoffs, he has the most improved player to show it. Definitely would put him there at one of the forward spots. This ESPN list had Kawhi on the second team. I think we both had Kawhi on the first team. Although things didn't go well for him in the playoffs, you got to stick LeBron James in there. 18 seasons. You saw the numbers. Very strong case could be that they may still be in the playoffs if it weren't for injuries. So, and for this last spot, and this is the tricky one, was the second guard spot, because there's a lot of people that you can make a case for. And
go ahead and say it. I can't wait.
Oh man, this was tough. This is really tough. But I'm actually going there. I know he's not in the lineup right now, but I'm going James Harden. Like, as that last spot. If you since he's gotten to Brooklyn and he's been in the lineup, he's been nothing short, probably even better than his Houston days. It's just he hasn't been in the lineup long enough for us to see it. So that would be my second team: Steph, James Harden, LeBron, Julius Randle, and Joel Embiid.
I think just to, I guess, in the spirit of rebuttaling, like, you got somebody like Chris Paul. Y'all know how I feel about the point guard. Like, let's not get into it. But 14-8 versus 32-8. We know which one the people gonna vote for, especially for a team that damn sure should have been in the lottery again. Like, Steph Curry is number one.
But it's their team, though.
I say this, and I raise you this too. So, what about all those years that Melo led, pretty much was tops in the league in scoring, and pretty much was carrying the Knicks the last few seasons? So, you think he would have wanted the first team All NBA? Now he's been on second and possibly, and I think third, but I just don't feel that just because you lead the league in scoring, you should definitely.
I mean, you also got to put into like how the media like tries to put their input in, their insight on the game too. Like, I'm somebody that believed that Carmelo Anthony should have won Rookie of the Year that season, his first season. So I think you already got a media that don't like Melo and how he plays. You know what I'm saying? And we can kind of like similar to this situation. Like, everybody loves Steph Curry. Steph Curry averaged the most points in a game this season, even on a trash team, whatever. But they were right there to make the playoffs. Rather, it's Chris Paul. If you look at his numbers, his impact are reflecting his numbers. And I think that when you talk about not MVP, but for first team, numbers play a lot more into impacting the team.
So you're saying that Steph should have been first team?
Yeah.
So you had Steph and who?
Steph and Dame.
Steph and Dame. Okay.
Yeah, we're
the first game.
I like Sharky's list on that one, but that was like adding Chris Paul was like the biggest one for me, because like I get it, the impact, like that's I get it, but that's for MVP talk rather than who were literally the first 5, the best 5 players of the season. I can't say that Chris Paul had a better season statistically than Steph Curry. I mean, the numbers right there.
I'll give you that. And I think with the whole thing with Chris Paul, I felt he should have been first team as well. But I think a little too much of the credit is being put on Chris Paul.
Yes, I agree.
And not enough of it is being put on
Devin Booker.
Devin Booker.
And
I wish Scholar was on here.
Yeah,
I wish Scholar was on here right now because I'd make him put some respect on Devin Booker's name right now because he's the one that's been talking some real cash about Devin Booker since the bubble. But that's for another day.
Like I told y'all, like Aiden missed 25 games last season. They could have made the playoffs last season, to be honest with you. So I mean,
is Devin Booker part of your All NBA maybe third team? Then is that what we're saying?
I would put him as a third, definitely.
Third team,
yeah.
Between him and Donovan Mitchell, or you put both of them on there.
I would put both of them on there.
Put both. Yeah.
I would put both. If it was third team, yeah, both.
Yep.
But then you get you go. Hey, you want Sheik?
Now y'all go ahead. Can hear him.
Yeah, I would say you can. Based on these teams, you come to a decision between James Harden and Kyrie. I think you're gonna choose one of those two due to how many games for me.
Yeah. So I'm gonna make this really interesting. I'm gonna give you all my third team and then lead into the second team. So my third team has our defensive player of the year. Oh, golly. You can't.
You gotta keep it traditional. So
hey, he impacts the game. I see it. I think a lot of people disrespect him a little too much.
And not only the game, he did introduce COVID to the world and the NBA, but you cannot have the Jazz be the best team in the league and not give highlight to some of the players at some point besides their sixth man of the year. So yes, I agree with Rudy Gobert. He might not be blocking as many shots, but he again affects how your shot is coming.
They're top 5 in offense and defense, so you got to give them credit.
The numbers got to be there, right?
Yeah.
And so again, I'll give you my third team, All NBA. Again, Gobert at the 5. I got James on this list, LeBron James, and then I have Jason Tatum actually as my other forward. At the guards, I had Harden and Steph. Steph did a lot. Yeah, he did a lot, but he did a lot towards the end of the season with that. And James Harden, hit or miss, but should have been the MVP candidate. Look at what he did from going from the Rockets to the Nets. Legitimately, it was two completely different teams with him. So yes, he's not playing with him right now. We get it. But this team is a second seed because of James Harden. And so now, speaking of second, now this is where you guys are going to hate me, and I love it. So I'll start with the center position like I've been doing. Joel is a lock. He's there. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. He is second team All-NBA for me. At the 4 position, Julius Randle is second team. He should not be anything lower than second team All-NBA.
I agree.
I know some people may put him at third team. I think that's a little bit too short for what he's done for this season. So give me Julius Randle at the 4. Now the 3 is a little bit harder for me as a 4 position, but overall this season, we kind of talked about this a little bit during, I don't even know, it's maybe a couple months ago, 2 or 3 months ago, but Paul George actually had a great season.
He did.
And so I actually would put him on my second team. I have him on my second team All-NBA. Now, here's where you guys are going to hate me. Donovan Mitchell definitely deserves to be a guard on the All-NBA second team, and he's my guard for All-NBA second team.
I know where you're going.
I know
where you're going.
I thought you would pick this up, Trevor. I was trying to alley-oop this too. But, man, you talk about production, and to me, Russell Westbrook had a phenomenal season again, triple-double, and deserves – he may not be on everyone's second team, but maybe possibly a third. There's so many guards. It's a guard-heavy league.
Hard.
Yeah.
But what production Russell Westbrook put together, and just to give you the credit for Russell Westbrook, again, name me 4 other players off that team besides Bradley Beal and Scott Brooks, who's the coach.
I can't, but your average person can.
Yeah.
No, we can, but it's just average.
So to say that every night you're giving out 10 assists to 4 people that you don't really know for sure, right on the court, and really elevating his team the way he did, even when Bradley Beal was out. Now, granted, the numbers, I think they were like maybe not winning as much. I get that part. But they were still in the game because of who? Russell Westbrook. It wasn't Ish Smith. I can tell you that right now. And so to me, I do have Russell there along with Spider. Like I said, with Julius, Paul, and Joel for second team.
That's not bad. I don't think why you think we would hate you for that.
I don't think you talk about the audience. You can talk about this.
I don't have a problem with Russ on the team. I think what hurts it is the people that actually vote. They're going to look at the Wizards. Yeah, they're going to look at the Wizards' record and say, well, but I mean, they got in the playoffs as an 8 seed.
Yeah.
They managed to get a game, and I think it was without Bradley Beal. That was all Russ. They managed to get one game from the Sixers, but that's what that is. I probably would have went there, but I just couldn't see everybody else's team success is a little bit more glaring than what Russ did.
I like the fact that you brought up Russ because what is it, 22, 11, almost 12 assists and 11 and a half rebounds. And like I remember going into I guess mid-season around that time when it was the Wizards was like, and then they started winning. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, hold on, watch out for the Wizards. Yo, the Wizards winning. Yo, they done won like 17 out of 20. Oh, they in the playoff.
Russ got healthy. That's what happened.
Like, that's literally because of Russell Westbrook. And I didn't think to put him on my second team. He easily is on my second team now. Who I take off, I don't know. Don't ask me right now. But now Russell Westbrook, the heart and soul of that team, 22, 11 and a half, 11.7.
And just to show the hammer home our point of how guard heavy this league is, another guy that deserves consideration just based on what he's done this season and what he's currently doing in the playoffs, Trae Young. Trae Young definitely deserves consideration.
That's what I thought it was going to go.
Third team, French, second team, whatever. But it's gonna be tough.
That lets you know how many players there are, because none of us even mentioned Devin Booker for any of these teams. And you can argue, and even like, yeah, I'm a Jimmy Butler fan. You call me fan, but even Jimmy Butler, it was one of his best.
Yeah, it's a lie. It's a lie. Yeah.
Look, I didn't realize that Trae Young was second in assists this season.
Yep.
Like, damn.
Like, I don't know what to disrespect, or people just hating him coming to this season for
we do gotta apologize to them though, because we did kind of laugh at them for like kind of going for it and trying to make the playoffs, and you see where they are now. So kudos to the Hawks for that.
Kudos to Atlanta for not shutting down. That's what they feeding off their energy. That's
here we go.
That lemon pepper energy.
That's what it is. It's
the lemon pepper Lou, didn't they?
The lemon pepper Lou came down, and when everybody got scared,
he came home and everything just took off.
Man. Hey, y'all, that's why Rondo signed there at the beginning of the season, man. Y'all better stay woke.
Shout out Nate McMillan, dog, who don't get enough credit as he should.
Great job.
But speaking of Hawks, too.
I mean, speaking of the Hawks, let's get into the playoffs right now. Of course, the NBA playoffs are going on right now. A game was it last night or a couple nights ago. We can talk about the Hawks and the Philly right now. Philly winning 2-1 against the Hawks right now. Of course, I was one of the idiots that had the Hawks winning because, one, I thought Joel Embiid wouldn't be playing, and two, I didn't know what kind of Ben Simmons we were going to get. So, of course, Sixers are down. Sixers are up 2-1. How y'all feel about the rest of the series?
I said Sixers, and I think I said 6 if Joel Embiid plays, and it's looking like it's going to be that way. I picked Philly regardless if he was in the lineup or not. So it's looking like it's either going to be one of those, because they don't have an answer for Joel Embiid, and he's doing this with a banged knee, and they don't have an answer for him out there. Like, I said he's my MVP, and I know Jokic deserved it, but
he's had a hell of a season. Is the Embiid we've been wanting to see, and we ain't heard nothing.
Atlanta can go get 2 Chainz. They can get all the Migos. They can get Future. They still can't stop Joel Embiid. I'm sorry.
Shout out to Migos.
Migos album. Oh my god.
That Migos album go hard. Shout out to Migos for Culture 3 though. That junk go hard. But yeah. Philly's winning the series.
Yeah. I picked if Joel, it's so crazy. I said if Joel plays that they go 6 games. If he doesn't play that, I think that it goes 5 games, both being Philly winning because I could see how well Philly was without Joel Embiid on the previous series against the Wizards. And I like the spacing that the Sixers provided, but I mean, he's dominating. And I don't know if there's a team that can stop Joel Embiid right now. To be honest, it definitely ain't gonna be the Hawks, and the Hawks got Clint Capella to hopefully stop Joel Embiid, a season and a half ago, but Clint Capella getting ate up down there. So if they don't finish this in 5, you can stamp it for 6. But the Hawks will be back on Peachtree real quick.
And I think I had Philly in. I had either way, whether Embiid plays and I play. I think I had them in 6. But it's something about these injuries, bro. Like Joel Embiid, a partially torn meniscus, and this is what he's doing. Chris Paul, well, with that one no shoulder injury, I ain't trying to hear that no more. But we'll get to that in a second. But I still got Philly in 6. I want to in there say 5, but I still give Atlanta. I think Atlanta could still put another one out.
Don't worry, so you'll get your reward soon because when you get to that series, so you're good.
Yeah. Let's get to another series. King Durant and the Nets gave literally, my opinion, they literally gave the Bucks a game. How do y'all feel about that? And then, of course, there's a story line attached to it that we can talk about real quick. But real quickly, how y'all feel about the Bucks and the Nets? And do y'all feel like they gave them a game? Because I think a couple of y'all called gentlemen sweep, which I guess they were being gentlemen at the time.
Who was a couple of y'all? It was me and you.
Yeah, that was you. I think most of us picked the Bucks.
Yeah, that was just me and you on that one.
Oh, it's like what you pick, gentleman sweep. Hey, congrats, brother. You got your gentleman. Give me y'all expression. Give me how y'all feeling about this series.
I said it before the season started. It's the same story, different chapter with the Bucks. I mean, granted, they got off to this hot start in game 3 where they had like a 25-point lead to close the first quarter. But you knew Brooklyn was gonna eventually, claw back into it. And the fact that it took a last possession to which, if let's be honest, if KD or Kyrie had the ball in his hands, are we sitting here talking about it being 2-1? We could very well be talking about Brooklyn being up 3-0. But back to my point on Milwaukee, it's literally the same story, different chapter. Like, yeah, Giannis is able to get his, but it's like they're struggling to get easy baskets, which is, again, playoff basketball. When time slows down, when everything slows down, like you have to figure out a way to generate easy baskets, regardless of who you are. And I think by Giannis not having, let's just be honest, he has no arsenal whatsoever. Like there, no arsenal whatsoever as far as moving.
He might just be dribbling.
Like, bro, his dribbling is like you in practice mode playing 2K when you just picking it up for the first time, trying to figure out how to do dribble moves. That's exactly how it looked. And this, unfortunately, is going to eventually cause Coach Budenholzer his job, because it is rumored that if the Bucks don't really get it done, if they have a dud per se, that he will probably be gone. So, kudos to the Nets. They look unstoppable right now, but I just, again, with the Bucks,
especially for a team that don't play defense.
So what?
Especially for a team that don't play defense.
Well, they don't, but when you have a team of bucket getters like they have, as you coined the phrase, they're tough to beat. So,
yeah, going into this series, again, my vision was on what happened to in round 1, and what you saw were the Bucks dominate the Heat, and what I saw was the Nets. Yeah, they handled the Celtics, but the Celtics still got to win. And not only did the Celtics still get a win, there were some times where those games were a little bit closer than what the end score was the result of. And so with that stated, yeah, I did believe that the Bucks would win in 6, and I still have the Bucks in 6. I'm not going to go against what I've said. Will it happen? Who knows? But offensively, the Nets are the best team left in doing it. And so the only way to beat a offensive team like this is to make them tired on defense. And I have not seen, like, I don't even know what Lopez that was last series against the Heat, but he looked like a Shaq over Trevor Reeves and all the other guys that we put against him. So I don't understand why they're not dumping it down to him and him getting some easy buckets and stuff like that. Giannis, we've said this before, we'll continue to say it. Giannis is never the first option. He damn near close to not being the second option on your team because he has no offensive repertoire for him at all. And so this team is better with Chris Middleton being the focal point of the offense and running with J. Rue. And then, Giannis can catch up what he needs to do. But the Nets, and as I flip the script over to the Nets, they're doing this without James Harden. They're doing this without Jeff Green, who to me is another big piece for this Nets team. I think DeAndre Jordan may have sniffed twice on the floor, but they're doing this relatively without those players. And it's very, very amazing what King Durant has been doing. Kyrie hasn't really given me things that I think that Durant has not. I think Durant has surpassed what I expected for him to be right now. And again, didn't they vote Defensive Player of the Year to Giannis last year? And why is he not guarding Durant 94 feet? Baffles me. But again, to me, the best way to hurt their offense is to make them play defense. But, it's neither here nor there.
To answer your question, Sheedy, see game 2. See game 2. Durant hit that man with that double crossover and had him lost.
In other words, he's too slow.
Yeah, and the foul.
In other words, Giannis is too slow. Just to answer your question real quick, he's too slow.
I wouldn't say he's too slow. I just think that if you're the quote unquote defensive player of the year,
no, he's too slow. He's too slow. It's simple to say he's too slow.
Hey, you said it, not me, but okay.
Yeah. Sharky.
Yes, and 5. What's next? Jeff Green is questionable, so he might be back in game 4. I can't say this though. The Bucks, although I think Brooklyn gave him one, but you don't never let a team back in the series. I will say that. So beware if the Bucks do win game 4. This is the series. You don't know.
You don't want to give a team. You don't want to just give a team 1 because that 1 to turn into 2, and now it's 2-2 going into Brooklyn, and they got all the momentum. They still game 5. You could potentially lose it in 6 on their home floor.
I don't see the Nets having another terrible shooting game, and I don't see Blake Griffin hanging on the rim like a dumbass again. So, that's neither here and there. Real quick, going forward, of course, there's a storyline attached to it. Jay Williams said that Kevin Durant told him, don't you ever compare him to Giannis, blah, blah, blah. The media's been picking it up. Real quick, y'all have any opinion on this story real quick? Because, honestly, before there were people that had Giannis, like y'all favorite show First Take, one of those analysts said that Giannis was a much better player than Kevin Durant. So,
that
Kevin
Durant
500 days for this moment.
Sounds like Matt Kellerman.
That sounds exactly like Max Kellerman. The same person who won Andre Iguodala taking a game-winning shot over Steph Curry.
That's
the same Max Kellerman that said Kawhi Leonard was better than Kobe. God rest his soul. Yeah. Too much emphasis on the E in ESPN and not more so the S, as I have tweeted. So,
I just say shout out to Carmen Brown. Follow his YouTube channel if you don't.
Yeah, shout out Kwame Brown because he kept it 100 on that situation. So
yeah, and to me, the only thing that Giannis can do better than Kevin Durant is lift weights. That's it.
All right, y'all. Let's move over to the West. We got the Jazz and the Clippers. Jazz are up 2-1. I had the Clippers winning, I believe, in 7. Still hold to that. Jazz looking like hurt. Like, I don't know who's playing at this point. Mike Conley, I don't know when he's returning. I think y'all got a better chance to see. Donovan Mitchell went out, but of course, apparently he's going to play in game 4. What's y'all at take of the rest of the series?
I don't even remember what I picked in this series because I knew this was going to be a tough one. But I think Donovan Mitchell, he's going to be fine for game 4. And I think with Mike Conley being out and having him at the helm is just giving him the green light to go attack. And that's paid wonders for them thus far in the series. I don't trust the Clippers, man. I really don't. Like, I know what I'm getting from Kawhi. Paul George had a great game last night, but can he sustain that and take this momentum he has now for the rest of the series? So I think this goes 7, but I think Utah eventually wins it in 7.
Yeah, the health of Mike Conley is huge, and the health of their backcourt is really huge for the Jazz. We did not get a chance to talk about this last time because at this time last week we weren't sure.
It was game 7 between
Okay.
Clippers. Yep.
So we never really chose this one. However, I'm going to take the Jazz, and I got the Jazz in 6. And the reason why I had the Jazz in 6, besides the inconsistency of the Clippers beyond Kawhi, is Reggie Jackson going to keep doing this every game? I don't remember him being in the 6th man of the year voting. So I don't believe Reggie Jackson's got that much left. He may be able to get one more game to help out with Kawhi. Kawhi's going to lock in on Donovan the entire time, the same way he had to do with Luka for 2. Literally, it was 2 games, legitimately, game 6 and game 7. But I give the nod to the Jazz in 6 for this one.
This is a regular series. I think the Clippers did find something in game 3 with the defense, and Donovan Mitchell still scored 30. So the Jazz, their shooting is no joke, bro. Like we saw in the Grizzlies series, they missed 20 straight shots in game 1 and still came back and won that thing. So the Jazz are for real. We can send all season saying we believe in them. I believe in them. Give me Jazz, and I would say 6. I don't think they're losing at home. So 6 or 7, give me 6. Jazz and 6.
Yeah.
So I just don't trust the Clippers. And also another injury. Serge Ibaka is out.
He's out for the season. So that's another key one.
Yeah. I don't know. I just get this like vibe, like still like that Jesus shot from a couple years ago with Kawhi is something that I still kind of like. He got some kind of force on his side that is like somebody wants the Clippers to do good, and I don't know what or how it is, but that was a bubble. That was a bubble. All right, so can we all just be like for real about it? If the Clippers beat the Jazz, can we start being nicer as a podcast to Paul George? Because I feel like I'm the only one that's like Paul George is still a great player to me. But y'all are mean. Y'all been mean to him over the last year.
I have the right to be mean to Paul George. I have to deal with him for 2 seasons in Oklahoma City. So when he didn't show up, I have that right. Now, would I give him his respect? Would I give him his flowers if they pull this series off? Absolutely. I give the flowers where they're due. So, but you can't. Uncle Ben from Spider-Man said, "With great power comes responsibility, man." Like you can't have
Spider-Man reference. I see what you're doing.
You can't demand superstar clout and give role player production. You just can't do it.
I mean, overall, Paul George had a great year. It's not. I do agree.
I mean, it's not. I was just saying, as far as the playoffs, I pretty much expect Paul George to have a great season, practically every season. Like even in Oklahoma City, like he was a finalist in the MVP for MVP that year. It's just, can what you do in the season, can you keep that same energy in the playoffs? And I think that's a lot of people's thoughts when it comes to him. So if he gets it done this series, I will be the first one on this podcast. I'll give him his flowers, 100%.
And to your point too, I think, and we won't get too much to this, but I think when Joe Muddleneck said tweet out that trade scenario, Paul George, I wasn't totally against him coming to the Grizzlies.
No, me neither.
Like that wasn't like a, oh no, I want to take Paul George. It's still Paul George, isn't it? Let's calm down now. Like that's a wing core we need.
I think if they called and asked, we'd listen.
Right.
We'd listen.
And of course, there's one more series out right now, and you know what I'm saying? It's looking like it's about to be a sweep in Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? Phoenix up 3-0 against Denver. Told y'all Chris Paul was for real. Denver, as y'all know how much I love Denver, ain't the same without Jamal Murray, so ain't no way in hell I could have picked them to beat the Suns. How y'all feel about it?
Let me go first.
Go ahead.
Ooh,
All right. It's to show how bad Portland is for sure. Like I said, I didn't know Chris Paul. That shoulder, ain't nothing wrong with the shoulder no more, man. I ain't see nothing wrong with the shoulder. But I'm going to go ahead and dive with my pick. Denver came back from 2-3-1s last year. They're going to come back from 3-0 this year. Give me Denver in 7.
Yowza.
I know I haven't really given my I think the only one I actually gave my thought on was the Philly one. Philly, Atlanta. I'm going down with all of my picks. So I'm saying Denver in 7, but they missed Jamal Murray bad. And that's that they missed Jamal Murray bad. Portland, don't get me wrong, Portland would have been a better matchup for Phoenix because of how well Dame plays as far as him being able to get his own shot. With Denver not having Jamal Murray to be that guy that creates offense for himself and gets buckets when, defenses are tight, they're stuck to running their usual offense, and it's not really paying off for them. So I'm sticking with it. I know they're down 3-0, but Denver in 7 somehow.
Yeah, and I'm already out of the conversation because I said Nuggets in 6. But I'll go down with the Nuggets as well. But I mean, they added Will Barton, and I mean that just added more fuel to the trash that they were putting out, to be honest. And we're saying all this about the Nuggets, and I really want to flip the script and just say, like, I think even my name says the sun ain't ready to set yet. The Suns ain't done. And what Chris Paul, and not even Chris Paul, realistically Devin Booker and Monty Williams has put together just a hell of a campaign for the Suns to really contend in the Western Conference Finals, if not win it. Sorry, a lot of background. But the Suns are the clear better team, even if they don't have the MVP. And let's give the Suns their credit. They haven't lost they've won 6 straight games maybe now in the playoffs. So they lost 1 against the Lakers, but I think they won like 3 straight after that, and they won 3 straight as well. So you're talking about they really won 6 straight games against some of the most elite talent that we have in the league. And we just did all NBA teams earlier, and both of those teams have who we all consider to have all NBA talent on there. And the Suns did this not only in Phoenix, but in LA, in Denver, with Jokic getting the MVP trophy as well. So shout out to the Suns for this. But as Steve Harvey said, I'm going down with the ship, and the music is still playing. So let's roll.
Let's talk briefly about how Monty Williams got robbed for Coach of the Year. So
let's talk. Let's talk about how there is like, you know how there were words that you can say and they mean two different things for one thing, right? Y'all know it's like blue and two, you know what I'm saying? How about cap? Yeah. How about cap? Y'all are tripping.
I said I was trolling.
The Suns are about to lose 4 straight. Oh my God.
That's the first time for everything. I'm sure I was trolling though.
Where's the damn man when you need them?
Look, I'm standing firm with my Phoenix close it out. I will give my kudos to Phoenix. I will. Trust me. I will.
When is next game? When is next
game?
Next game, right?
We better not record next Sunday till Game 7, bro.
I know that much. It better not be a Game 7 next time we record.
Man, look.
That's all I got to say. It better not be a Game 7 when we record this week.
Man, look, if it's a Game 7.
Might be lucky because it's Father's Day this week. We might not even be recording.
Yeah, exactly.
I still got to make it to 7 if that happens, even if we don't record.
Oh yeah, at that point, it's definitely Nuggets and 7 at that point because I wouldn't even know what would have happened.
This room is like practically new.
Yeah, Jokic had a 32, 20, and 10.
30, 20, and 10?
And they still lost by double digits. Yeah, it's over.
Yeah, they didn't lose because of Jokers. I can tell you that.
Absolutely. They missed Jamal Murray like bad. It's showing. It's like outside of Jokic, they have nobody that can create their own offense.
We gotta perform the cap police. That's what we need to form. If we can make COVID dogs a thing, we can make a cap police a thing.
The cap hounds. There you go.
I would say
the cap hounds.
That's it.
Like a 1970s musical group.
That's right.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is our version of Cap or No Cap. JC and John show. Rolling off.
Oh man, that is great.
That's hilarious.
That's great.
Well, no,
I'm with it.
There are a lot of mascots.
Yeah, that's it on my.
There are a lot of dog type mascots in college.
Yeah,
the cap sounds coming soon. Why we the ICDC cap coming?
Not the ICDC though. Why you had to give?
They don't have a mascot.
Okay, hold up. Okay,
they don't have a sports program yet. We can be good.
Hey, Toot, what's gonna be their logo? What's gonna be their logo?
A big ass sports train.
All right. That's it. All right. Switching things over. Who else is good? Switching things over to college sports and college football. There have been talks, and at this point, I feel they're inevitable, of a college football playoff expansion. They're looking to expand the college football playoff from 4 teams to 12. So they're making a proposal for that. Now, fortunately, it's not going to happen soon, as the college football playoff is currently locked in a 12-year deal through 2025-26. But there is a lot of ramifications, and that's gaining momentum about the commissioners wanting to expand the college football playoff from 4 to 12. I'll go over the brief format as to how this 12-team playoff will play out. So the top 12, of course, will consist of the top 12 from the college football playoff, as opposed to the top 25, rankings that comes out every week. The top 4 seeds, of course, will all receive byes, and they would consist of the highest ranked conference champions from that point. 5 through 12 will just consist of conference champions, undefeated, things of that nature. So it's basically going to be just open season for the most part. So for those that are wondering, that you have to be a conference champion to qualify to be in the top 4. So Notre Dame can't go undefeated and somehow end up in the top 4 because they don't play for a conference championship. So the highest seed they'll be able to receive is a 5. And that's just, I think that's fair. So just one. Oh, and lastly, games will be played over a span of 2 weeks going into the New Year's 6. And then, of course, it'll be the same as far as with the national championship and all that is concerned. So I got the order in the chat. What's you guys' take on the potential college football playoff expansion?
First thing, I believe Notre Dame, if this actually goes through, hopefully it does. I agree with the plan. Notre Dame will probably officially join the conference at that point. I truly believe that. And I can just be like, no, we're going to stay independent and be miss a potential bye. I think they played in ACC last year because of the whole COVID thing. So I can see that potentially happening. And they're in the ACC in basketball. Right, they're in ACC basketball, so it just makes all sense in the world for that to happen. But I agree with the 12 team. I mean, we was vouching for 8, so 12 is even better. It finally gives it won't be that many seats at the table, but you'll at least get potentially 1 to 2 group of 5 teams a chance. No, they probably won't win it. Yeah, Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State will probably still be the same teams there every year in the actual final game, but it gives teams like Memphis a real chance, like to actually, all right, I see that should mean something when we win our conference championship instead of, we just get to go to the Cotton Bowl. Whoop to do. No, so I love it.
Yeah. To me, when I think about this, to your point, Sharky, it gives everyone an opportunity. A team like Memphis. Let me back up a little bit. Beautiful thing about football. College football, NFL, don't matter. Who's the best for 60 minutes? And we just left a conversation that we're talking about who's the best for 48 minutes 4 times out of 7. Where now we're talking about who's just going to be the best person on the field for 60 minutes and we'll move forward. And so 1, of course, is going to bring more money to the NCAA, which I know they're hurting for it. 2, it's also going to be, there were times as well where players would sit out, right, during these quote unquote bowl games. Now players may be more reluctant to not sit out and to actually play because they understand that they'll get more TV time. They'll get more coaches watching them on TV and what have you to boost up their stock. How many times have we watched players in the last 3 to 4 games of the season, even within a game within a bowl season, just really rise their stock up? And so I think that's going to be another huge part to it. Now, I understand the academic piece. To me, all these kids will be in, winter break anyway, so they'll all be good. And we all don't nobody care about academics when it comes to football anyway. I already know how that goes. So to the point of it, I love it. Again, more money, but more buy-in from the players altogether. Because if you're telling me I'm the 12th seed, but I have a chance to actually win the national championship, I'm going, and I'm putting forth my best effort to do so. But right now, if I'm a 12 seed, I have to go to the Hawaii Bowl or something like that, where I don't have the opportunity to actually win something at the end. This is very similar to how, the NCAA is. You might not be the top 10 team or top 12 team in the NCAA, but dang it, you make it into the tournament, anything can happen. And so that's why I'll leave it at that. And again, the beautiful thing is you have 60 minutes, 1 game, win or lose, and move on from there.
Right. On that aspect, I'll be real quick, short. Y'all hit the hammer on the head with everything. Especially this for teams like Memphis, who we love to see, of course, in a national championship game or something like that would be dope, right? But I think that the same thing could also be the downfall. And what I mean by that is we saw a lot of boring ass games, in the playoffs, right? Like these higher teams just beating up on the lower seeded team. And this has the potential to kind of do the same thing, especially if we get that 1 seed going against, the 8th seed. Of course, it makes for better drama. It sells better. People like a Cinderella story. But at the same time, how often will Alabama lose to a Boise State or, one of these teams that, just had a great season? You know what I'm saying? But, on the flip side, we could get a UCF versus a Clemson, you know what I'm saying, or something like that, make it exciting for football. So I think it is exciting, but I think that the matchups will literally make or break this, what they're trying to do. Because, like I said, if a number one seed is beating up on an 8 seed, who want to watch that, especially in a championship game. So I do think it's exciting. It'll bring more money. The players should be more focused. We wouldn't have to see too many, players sitting out on bowl games. But then again, playing devil's advocate, like some players who, have a great season, who have solidified, they're being a lottery pick or a top pick, first round pick, second round pick, whatever, who would rather sit out, instead of putting their body into more pressure. I think, you kind of increase the chances on that too, especially when the team is a lower seeded team. So I think that's something we got to watch out for. But overall, I think it'll be good for the game.
All right, I was trying to check and see how things would look with last year's rankings. So just give me a second here. All right. All right. So,
might as well get it on.
Yeah, just real briefly. So you have, if everything matched up as it was with the 12-team playoff, so you have Coastal Carolina, who's ranked 12th and undefeated. You had them matching up with A&M in the first round. Of course, they have to go to Texas for that. They played each other in I think it was the Sugar Bowl, but Cincinnati will match up with Georgia. Florida will match up with Iowa State, and then I believe Oklahoma against Indiana. So to Tuke's point, I could see that happening, but at least it gives these teams a little bit more exposure, and it gives teams outside of the Power Five an opportunity to possibly get in the playoffs as well. So.
Plus the bias help. Just the top 4 teams are getting that week off. So I think the first round matchups will be really good. And after that, then you kind of see them beat up the top 4 seeds, beat up everybody else. How I guess it'll be if they did 8 teams anyway. So
yeah.
All right. Let's get on to entertainment. Not boxing, but entertainment.
Because that's exactly what the hell going on in boxing, right? So we can talk quickly about how boring the Floyd and Logan Paul fight was. Who got gypped? Did y'all pay for the fight?
No, sir.
Hey, it's like I'm looking at 3 winners, 4 if you count myself on the screen. So shout out to y'all. But now,
I didn't know the fight was going on.
I literally had nothing else on.
That's right. Like, I cannot miss this opportunity to see Floyd knock out Logan Paul, or what should have been, but that's neither here nor there. So pretty much what's going on now, boxing is taking a turn. Some people are saying far left, some people are saying far right. We had Ocho Cinco go against Brian Maxwell, I think like a week or 2 ago. And we also have Lamar Odom just straight up annihilate Aaron Carter, who people saying the trouble fight. Seeing how both of these people have trouble backgrounds. If you don't know who Aaron Carter is, former singer, had potential back in the day, but just never reached it. They got into a boxing ring. Lamar Odom, got him. So how do y'all feel about, I guess we can call it, for lack of better words, so celebrity boxing finally coming into play? Do y'all think it's good for the sports of boxing? Of course, we're entertained by it, so I don't even have to ask if we're entertained by it. But do y'all think that, seeing these fights, as mismatched or not, are good for the sport of boxing?
I prefer celebrity deathmatch personally. MTV, bring back celebrity deathmatch.
But celebrities can't kill each other.
Well, I'm talking about the actual show. I'm talking about
the show. Not
celebrities
actually fighting for real like that. I mean, this celebrity boxing has been going on just since practically before we all were born, if you want to just be honest with you. Is it good for the sport of boxing? No. Does it get eyes on boxing? Maybe, but not the wrong set of eyes. And I think this is what the sport of boxing is missing. They're missing that that next guy that's gonna like draw in not just hardcore boxing fans, will just draw in that casual crowd. And that's one of the things that Floyd did during his time as far as boxing is concerned during his career. He was able to bring in both hardcore boxing fans because of his skill, and then just from casual fans from the standpoint of, okay, we just want to see this guy lose or what have you. So yeah, it does hurt the sport of boxing, but if you feel that strongly about it, actually go watch boxing. Like there's some pretty decent guys on the boxing scene that you can check out. Like you got Gervonta Davis, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, just to name a few. Like if you really that pressed about how this celebrity boxing thing, which isn't going anywhere because it's entertainment, like we're saying, it's not going anywhere, and people's going to tune in for whatever they're going to feel they're going to be entertained by. But if you feel that strongly about boxing, then watch boxing. Like find you a favorite boxer and get behind them and start cheering for them. It's just that simple. Because this is not going anywhere. No time soon.
To the point you're making, Trevor, about amateur boxing or just, I don't know, whatever other exhibition boxing has been around for literally decades. And you can go back to like the bare knuckle boxing, which is more of an exhibition sport as well. So to me, we can't be upset with the entertainment that's produced. We need to be more upset with the fights that are not being produced for us to see. Let's be honest, as in the Black community, we kind of want to see Deontay Wilder go against Fury again. That's what we've been waiting to see. And that's not happened. Whatever the contract is, whatever happened, that's neither here nor there.
Oh, that's happening, my brother.
Yeah, okay.
July, end of July. Yeah. July 24th.
So great. So there's your heavyweight, right? But there was a time, like realistically in the mid to late 90s, yeah, I'm showing my age, where like you had fighters at different and multiple weight classes that you couldn't wait to see fight, right? And I'm not just talking about your Mike Tyson, you got Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, hell, Butterbean drew some interest, right? You can go to the middleweight, Sugar Ray Robinson, people like that, welterweights and things like that. Like there was a plethora of talent that we couldn't wait to see. Now, Floyd is done. Floyd ain't about to get in the ring and really box anybody. So yeah, we are looking for those next ones up, and there are some actually decent talent. Is it the same amount of talent that we had back then? No, it's not. It is what it is. But these people can still draw names if they are publicized right. Who's doing this correct right now with all this fighting is UFC. UFC is putting out, whether or not we want to watch or not, they got something up every Saturday. And that's something that boxing can kind of say. I'm not saying to do that every Saturday, but also just draw the crowd to what we want to see. So that's all. I'll leave it there.
Cool. I want to read y'all a quote real quick and get y'all real opinion on it. Not to be the dead horse, but I find it quite interesting reading it. According to the New York Post, this is from Damon Fieldman, who's the promoter and founder of Celebrity Boxing. He says that I'm building the WWE of boxing. Boxing is in a weird spot. There are no fighters to follow right now. Celebrities are looking at this as a way to get back into the spotlight and a way to make money. Do y'all think this is all that it's about? Is just all about getting the bag at this point?
Yeah, getting the bag and entertainment is just what I alluded to. I would say if boxing was such a big deal, like fans need to start watching boxing. The promoters for boxing need to do a better job of promoting these guys that may be on the come up or these guys that are already established. Like NBA, take notes because this could be you within the next 5 years if you don't start promoting your new stars. But it's like I said, celebrity boxing is not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
That's a good point. That's a good point, bro. For real. Y'all got any more opinions on it? Shark Cheaty? Cool.
No.
I agree.
That's it for the entertainment segment. We are all entertained, to say the least. I'm just happy I ain't paid that $50, $100, however much people have to pay. Yeah.
Real quick. I just want to get Sharky and Sheedy's answer, but I kind of already know, but I'll just ask it anyway for entertainment purposes. So, which is worse, buying a pay-per-view or buying a ticket to the actual fight?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the ticket to the fight is worse because guess what? I got airfare, hotel stay, I gotta buy food, all the other stuff. So I'd rather not buy that ticket. And if I have to, which would you rather? I'd rather pay for it here, I guess, so I can turn it off when I don't feel like it.
Yeah, pay-per-view is cheaper.
Okay.
But if I'm there, that mean I got it though.
Yeah, but
True. I can have it. I can also have it at home.
That's true. That's true.
because you're there, you gotta stay. Like if it's well, you don't have to stay, but you spend a lot of money. So
because everybody don't show up until the main event, anyways. Because if you just like sit and watch the whole card, like the crowd just gradually expands. Like it'll be empty seats to a full house by the end of the night.
Facts.
No paper. All right. So let's move on to Would You Rather. Well, special edition Would You Rather this week. As y'all know, we are the fattest sports podcast. I saw this tweet, and hey, we are the fattest sports podcast for a reason. So, Little Debbie is about to get our attention today. That was a tweet that went around this picture and said, "One, you choose one. Only one of these can remain. Only that you're taking off the shelf and bringing home. What Debbie snack are you taking?" You got Swiss rolls, you got Nutty Buddies, you got honey buns, you got oatmeal cream pies, you got spin, you got everything. Zebra cakes.
Somebody go first.
Just one?
Yes, sir. One.
Man, I love Nutty Bars, but I can't live without oatmeal cream pie. Or we call them oatmeal cakes.
Me and you the same way too. Those to me, those my final two. It was them two. I love Nutty Buddies. With cream pies, man, I don't. The strawberry shortcake low key, but that joint killer for you.
I'm gonna go first, man. Give me the Nutty Bars, man. The Nutty Bars is we have a good relationship. We've had it for 20 plus years. Nutty Bars ain't never these kind, by the way. Like there's some off-brand ones that are
yeah. Please specify.
The Nutter Brothers.
Nutty Buddy, Nutty Buddy, homie. So now, give me these kind of Nutty Buddies. I'm sorry, oatmeal cakes. Y'all got to play some of hard too. But if I had to choose one for the rest of my life, give me Nutty Buddies.
Oh man, this is tough. Because of course everybody loves the oatmeal cream pies. I mess with the Nutty Buddies. I mess with Fudge Rounds. I mess with Star Crunch.
I love Star Crunch too.
Oh man,
who don't love honey buns?
I don't like those honey buns. I don't like Little Debbie's.
Yeah, there's some better ones.
There's a difference. Little Debbie's honey buns ain't really slapping like that.
That's true.
For me, it came down to Star Crunch and oatmeal cream pies, and man, I gotta go with the oatmeal cream pie. It's if I had to choose one for the rest of my life, yeah, it's gotta be the oatmeal cream pies or the oatmeal cakes, as Tuke alluded to. So, yeah, tough, but give me the oatmeal cream pie.
Look at us choosing like who we want to lead our first team.
Yeah,
our franchise.
Because you're saying one for the rest of our lives, and like I've dabbled and dabbled in every single one of these for life. Man, I was always a huge fan of zebra cakes. I ain't gonna lie to you. Growing up, I used to try to find out how to get 2 packs of zebra cakes, to be honest. Because I didn't think one was enough. I'm also like I was never really a fan of the Cosmic Brownie, to be honest. If I had to choose one to have for the rest of my life, that's the question. I wish the honey buns were better. I really do, because the honey buns you can really finesse because you can have a honey bun cold, you can have a honey bun warm. And that kind of changes the game a little bit. But these ain't the honey buns that you really even buy anyway. And so I'm actually going to go ahead and go to the Guardians of the Galaxy and give me that Star Crunch for the win.
I'm glad somebody picked it so that way I can just go over their house if I want a Star Crunch. Yes.
Right. Man. So shout out to y'all when the Star Crunch stuff because there are a lot of people that don't actually like Star Crunch. I saw first time I touched on one good like a couple months ago. I was like, but yeah, out of me, man, I used to go to the stove. I used to have zebra cake, strawberry shortcake, almond cream pie, and other buddies, and Star Crunch, and Swiss rolls. Flush round sometimes too, man. Look here.
$5 worth of snacks right there. $5.
That strawberry shortcake hit different. Since took Nutty Buddies, because that probably would be my pick. Since Trevor took almond cream pie, and since she took Star Crunch, I'm gonna take strawberry shortcake. That way I can just come over y'all house if I want one of the other three.
Bad.
I just need somebody to take zebra cakes for me, and we'll all be good. Skyler, pressure on you, because Savage said almond cream pies.
Yeah, I was like, this is probably gonna be the first thing we ask Skyler as soon as we go live next week once he's back. But yeah.
Fattest sports podcast in the world. Let's get it. Never fails.
Never fails.
Anybody else got it? Would you rather? Cool. All right. Yeah, that's for this episode, man. Anybody got anything else?
I got a would you rather.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead. Let's hear it.
Would you rather get bit by a COVID dog or a cat hound?
Peace.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen,
peace.
have a good Sunday.
It's hilarious.